man. You had a busy day today, man. Last couple of days, dude. I heard you talking about it.
Man, it's been a whirlwind for the last since Saturday, dude. Yella, his wife renewed their vows, and I was able to attend that event, and then got ready to go to Sacramento first thing Monday morning. Got to Sac, it was 100 degrees, and got nothing but love. Got shout out to my girl Liz, Liz Kim, for looking out for me. She scooped me up from the airport, made sure I had transportation. I was in Sacramento. All good, man. When you got good folks working with you, man, it's a blessing, Doc. And we got to the Capitol, and it was just, man, it was just amazing, dude. You don't think about that stuff till you actually experience it. You don't think about the Capitol, the building. The building is 100 and some odd years old, and you couldn't tell by the maintenance of it. I mean, it was like walking into a castle, and to be on the assembly floor and then turn back around and go to the Senate floor, and then come back to the Senate assembly floor and get to take pictures like a bunch of kids. I mean, we were all over the speaker's desk, everything, man. They said, y'all did an official takeover of the assembly floor. I got pictures to prove it, Doc. It was off the chain, man.
Yeah, that sounds cool, man. That sounds cool. So Yella renewed his vows, man. Going back to Yella's time back in the day with World Class Wrecking Crew and how he was portrayed in the movie as a ladies' man. Did you ever think that you see Yella get married?
Hell no. I had to make a speech. I had to make a speech at home at my man's event, man, because the Yella I knew would never have gotten married. Okay? Man, this dude, this Yella was the only member of the Wrecking Crew that didn't have a phone book. Yella would walk around with a pocket full of business cards. He would write women's numbers on the back of the business cards. Every time he wanted to start looking, he started shuffling like he's in Vegas or something, looking for business cards with people's numbers on the back of them. I mean, he did that for decades, man. Even if he had a phone, he still did the same thing. I even talked about the movie Straight Outta Compton, how folks always thought, based on that movie, I get questioned about that all the time. Was Yella trying to take one of my girls? And I tell them, very possible, because I was trying to take one of his, so it didn't make no difference. So at that time we all were single. Everybody was, we was horny all the time, and whatever was walking through, if it didn't have a ring on it, we were trying to put a mash on
it. Be honest, did you guys ever mess with any married chicks back in the day?
Nah, that's what we knew of. We was doing too good.
Because them chicks don't care sometimes when the fame gets involved.
Man, sometimes they don't, but back then, nah, I don't know. I can't speak for nobody else. I can speak for me. Nah, that was something. Nah, not voluntarily.
Well, that's dope, man. Did you already talk about who all was up there in Sacramento? I know I saw a picture of you and King T on the plane, which I just saw the day before at a backyard function in Norwalk. And I saw Captain Rap. Who else was up there, man? Kid
Frost, myself, Captain Rap, Disco Daddy showed up. Wanda from JJ FAD, Arabian Prince. Who else? Kelvin from VIP Long Beach. And those were the main characters that I invited. Greg Mack, Violet Brown, Adrian Gregory, but they couldn't make it. But we still got a lot of love, Doc. It was a West Coast thing. They had folks from somebody from Hieroglyphics showed up.
Oh,
and it worked out very well. I would love to have had more people be able to be recognized on the Senate floor. But and that's the beauty of having friends, man. I was trying to get Steve to give us something here in Compton at the Dollar High Center, or maybe Compton College. That way we could have Toddy T and all the local folks come out and do a nice little event for the fellas and the girls, of course. And he said, let's take it to the Senate floor. I'm like, well, how do you tell that? No. How you say no to that? Because my list is about 45 people, and I had to scale down my list from 45 to 10 people who don't get any shine that deserves some shine. Kelvin VIP, without Kelvin, ain't no Stoop, ain't no 213, no Nate Dogg, no Warren G, Kid Frost, one of the first Latino rappers that I know of that ever grabbed the mic. We was on tour back in the day together. Same thing with Disco Daddy and Captain Rap. Captain Rap, Bad Times, still rocks to this day, man. You know, him and Disco Daddy, one of the first guys to do it on the West Coast, period, before me. And I got to show that love. And we got a picture someplace. You got the father of West Coast rap and the godfather of West Coast rap. So, you know, that's all that's good, Doc. You know, and it's just good to be able to see your folks, everybody upright and kicking it.
Love it. You know, speaking of JJ FAD, how important were they to the West Coast? From what I understand, if it wasn't for Supersonic, Ruthless may have not had such a good start.
Nah, because when Ruthless, when Eric bought JJ Supersonic from Ruthless, it was already a hit. Okay, it was already a hit. Understand, JJ FAD was the first big hit that came out of our distribution company, West Coast Record Distributors. Again, I came up with an idea. We all left Michel'le, and we wanted to start a distribution company. I was already selling records. I was selling charts for licensed record distributors anyway. Egypt was too, because Michel'le was, you know, he was folding the shop. So we started our own thing, and people was buying from us. But even though we were selling records, we didn't have the financial backing to do a good radio push or push an album. So when JJ FAD, when Supersonic got a lot of pub on his own, Ruthless was in a better position than Dream Team Records. So Rudy cut a deal and took him over to Ruthless, and with Ruthless's money with Adco's money, they put up Atlantic. They put him on Atlantic, and Atlantic's machine got behind him, took it to the next level. Record sold 4 or 5 million records. So it was a good deal for everybody, and you know, so yeah, they gave that money. Gave Ruthless the financial backing to promote everything else they had.
Do you know if there were any artists in the early days that Eazy and them were working with that didn't necessarily make it as big as a Supersonic or a JJ FAD or a Bone Thugs and Harmony? Some lesser known artists from the early days of Ruthless Records?
Whole Attitude is the one coming to mind for sure. They came out, but people didn't respond to them as well as they did N.W.A.